Good morning, my loves. Welcome to another episode of Shorts for the Believer. What is that? That's a little short clip, a little short video, a little short thought to help ignite your own thinking about your own personal situations so that you are able to radically change your relationship with God and get the most out of everything that God is trying to offer you. My job is to push you to think about things and see things in a different perspective. So, as I've shared with you along this journey, I have been driving across country for the last few days. I finally arrived at my destination late last night. I went through hail, snow, sunshine, rain, every kind of something that you could imagine, even driving on a road that was carved on the side of a mountain. Y'all, I almost lost my nerve and went back home, but it's okay because I'm good. I'm here. I pushed through. That's another video. But today I want to talk to you about something. All of the videos that I speak about are serious because they all are about radically changing your relationship with God. And today I want to talk to you about radically changing the way you think about your situations. In everything, give thanks. You know, this morning I spoke with a friend who is still in Shanghai, who is desperately trying to get her and her son out due to the recent rise in COVID cases. Shanghai has been on complete lockdown. They have not been outside in more than 30 days, up until just a few days ago. And as I spoke with her and listened to her recount what she's going through, I literally had a moment of delayed praise. And that's unfortunate for me because it took me 9 months to get to really meaning what I was saying. But I literally had a moment of delayed praise and thanksgiving and just worship because I realized that last year when I came home from China for my daughter's wedding and was unable to get back, God was keeping me safe and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know that the situation I found myself in was keeping me safe for what was going to happen 9 months later, which is where we are right now. All I know is that after my daughter's wedding, when I got ready to go back to China, every avenue that could possibly shut down, ones that I didn't even think were possible, they all shut down. From purchasing a ticket to having a place to live, everything that could go wrong went wrong to prevent me from returning to China. And if I were to be really honest with you, I went through a period of feeling pretty low about myself. If you know anything about me, you know that I usually have a plan for the plan, and I have a backup plan just in case those plans fail, which is to say that I research everything that I do. I try to think through and make wise decisions based on what I want to do. And I pray about it. I try to be patient when God is telling me to wait. Sometimes I'm not good at that, and it's something that I'm definitely working on. But I must tell you that last year, after the high of my only child getting married and gaining a son that I love more than anything, I found myself in a very low place because I could not understand what God was doing in my life. I was separated from my husband because of COVID, not because we chose to be separated, but he was on a trip in his country at the time that the lockdown went into place, and he was unable to get back to where we were living in China. And so life radically changed for us as a result of COVID-19. And last year, when I was unable to get back to China, I was devastated, y'all. I had a good life in China. I had just gotten a promotion to foreign principal at the school that I had been teaching at for the last 3 years. And life was really good. I was in a good place and had crossed a lot of things off of my bucket list and things that I wanted to achieve Even though I wasn't in my own country, I could literally see the hand of God in my life. But I tell you what, when I was unable to get back, when I called the airline and discovered that the ticket to get back to China was going to cost me 23,000 US dollars one way. That was just the ticket. That wasn't hotel. That wasn't the 30 days of solitary or isolation that I had to do once I arrived in China because I was coming from the United States. That was solely the ticket. And at that moment, I knew that I could not invest $23,000 in a ticket because that would wipe out everything that I had. And so I found myself in a very low place. And I didn't stop praying. I didn't stop talking to God, but I'm talking to God through all my tears. Lord, why is this happening to me? And I'm trying to be careful not to say, I hate this and I'm not liking this and I don't care about this. Try very careful not to sound like I was complaining, although I really was complaining because I did not understand what God was doing in my life. I did not get why my good life had come to a screeching halt. And here I was living in the city that I never wanted to return to live again. And boy, was I grieving. Grieving is not just about death of a person. Grieving is death of a relationship, is death to a idea or a preconceived notion that you have about your life. I was grieving. Y'all, I was grieving deeply. And I got an opportunity to travel someplace else, but even in that travel, I was still grieving. And I kept saying, Lord, if you just show me what to be thankful for, I will immediately put this grief away. And God wouldn't show me. And what I have since learned or have been reminded of is the fact that I am not the creator, number one. And so that means that I can't handle what he can handle in terms of knowledge about what lies ahead. So there are some times when he will give me an idea of what's to come, but there are times when what's to come is too much and I can't know it. And that's where my faith in him comes in and is the most important thing about our relationship. You know, we are to walk by faith and not by sight. And Sarah Young, in a devotional book called Jesus, When Jesus Calls, I believe that's the title, but in that book, the devotion this morning talked about the fact that when you complain or when you criticize what's happening, you are essentially saying to God that I don't like the way you're managing the earth. You're not doing it good enough. And boy, did those words sock it to me, right? Because I never want to be accused to saying to the Creator, you're not doing it good enough. I may say that to humans, but I never want to be guilty of saying that to God, right? And so I realize more and more that I need to really, as we talked about the other day, I really need to revamp the way that I say the words out of my mouth. And just when I feel like I want to complain about something that's not going well, instead I should lift my hands and tell God, thank you for what is going well, because it produces something different in your life. It produces a different thought process. As I was driving across country yesterday, I came across a place in the road called Denman Junction, where there was nothing for about maybe 200 miles of just road. There was nothing. I had no telephone service for 3.5 hours. There was nothing. And at one point, I was literally driving on a 2-lane road, which was carved out of the side of the mountain. And the right side that was closest to the mountain was okay, but the left side had no guardrail, and there was a plunge of 600 to 700 feet, maybe more in some places. I could feel my legs shaking. I could feel my body shaking. And all I could say was, God, I thank you. I made a conscious effort not to complain about the fact that my anxiety was kicking in and that I probably was making a crazy decision by taking this drive by myself, because I was already more than halfway there. I had 7 hours left of a 43-hour journey. And so instead of complaining, I decided to thank God for the fact that He had been with me for all of the hours that led up to the last 7 hours of my trip, 36 hours. I begin to thank God for being with me. I begin to thank God for keeping me. I begin to thank God for making a way for me to take this journey by myself and for keeping me safe as a woman traveling alone from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way to Oregon. And the more that I begin to thank and praise God, the more I begin to feel His peace, because my mind was not running amok. My thoughts were not running amok, and my thoughts were not allowed to run free and into negative places that would reinforce the fear that I was feeling. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, don't forget to be thankful for everything. You can't see 9 months down the road, because maybe what lies 9 months down the road is something you can't handle. But you know the one who can. You are a child of the God that can handle it all. And so I encourage you today to give thanks for everything that you face, for this is the will of Christ Jesus. It is, and it's the best thing for your life, because God is saving you from something. He's saving you for something. He's excising something out of your heart that needs to be taken out. He's working something in you. He's working in that faith that produces so many things, including a stable, healthy, rewarding relationship with Him. It's hard to be thankful when times are tough, but I encourage you today, if you are facing a hard time, in it, be thankful. For this is the will of Jesus for your life. And I guarantee you, it might be 9 minutes down the road. It might be 9 months down the road. It might be a year down the road. But I guarantee you, God is working it out for you. Stay blessed. I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of these shorts for the believer. If you'd like to catch the entire clip, please head over to our YouTube page. The link will be at the top. Thank you so much. I love you. And I will see you tomorrow.